Welcome everyone, my name's Kimberly and this is Off-Road Reactions. Today I'm reacting to a video called Sandy Blight Junction Road and it comes from Red Dirt Australia. I'll leave the link down below in the comments, in the description section. So I'm not sure how much they'll explain here. I can see an image here of Len Bedell. And those of you who maybe don't know who Len Bedell is, go and check out his history and his story. And, you know, this is a fellow who had a team of people working for him for about 10 years that were incredibly resourceful people working in the outback building roads. Essentially for a geodesic survey to be done. Much of that part of Australia was not mapped at all. Much of that part of Australia was not mapped at all, and Len was an amazing surveyor, an incredible bushman, and built a whole bunch of roads out there. Now, this is one of the later roads that he built, I think probably in the 60s, early 60s. Not certain about that. I'll just have to double check, I guess. But it's also one of the shorter roads, but it's very, very scenic. And those of you who want to see the Sandy Blight Junction Road and other places, Olsen's Tours and Training will be running Winkinkara Pintubi trip, which goes along the Sandy Blight Junction Road and then up the Northern Territory, West Australian border, essentially, all the way up to Belgo and then back down the Tanami Road. So highly recommend you check that out. And I think it's 2024. So go check that out at Olsen's Tours and Training. The link will be below. Let's have a look at this video. All right, going to make a comment already. Mount Bedell, you can visit that place. If you come with Olsen's Tours and Training on the Canning Stock route, you'll get to see Mount Bedell. And probably pretty much where Len has that tripod set up there, there's actually a permanent tripod there now.
Live on the Carbon Network, a magnificent day in Alice Springs, Central Australia. And of course, a new album by Tjintu Desert Man. It's Tjamuku Ngurra. Check it out.
All right, so just a quick word. They're coming from Alice Springs via the Gary Junction Road and then turning south down the Sandy Blight Junction Road. The tour I mentioned before, the Winkinkara Pintubi tour, actually does it in the opposite direction and then continues north from there. But here we are, we're just about to take the turn off by the look of it. How beautiful is that country, and look at that track just running off there. Couple of comments. We saw an image of an Aboriginal community there. Not sure which particular one that was, but might have been Kintul or might have been another one. But yeah, that's a very classic image of an Aboriginal community. Now, just remember to be very respectful when you're going into this country and visiting those communities, and be very kind of conscious that you are an intruder in that space, and you know, just be very grateful that you can be there. And look, Len had this habit of, I'm going to describe it differently than a habit. I think Len was really good at keeping records, and if you want to go and read all his books, you'll learn about some of the things that he did. He imagined that people would be traveling these roads essentially forever, and he probably had no idea what would come in terms of the four-wheel drive boom. He probably thought this was going to be used in a slightly different way, but he knew that people would be traveling these tracks, and he wanted to make the journey interesting and pleasant and show people the things that he liked to see. So he would point the road directly at a mountain so that you had this beautiful vista in front of you as you're driving for hours. And just very clever. He said, I'll direct the road towards that great big tree. It's the only big tree, and it will one day provide people shade. That's the sort of man that he was. Now, let's not also forget that this is the country of a range of Western Desert peoples. And while I'm sure they're quite grateful to have access roads to various places, the disruption that the programs associated with these roads, the Woomera Rocket Range, essentially that's what the Geodesic Survey was for, caused massive disruption to these people's lives and their culture. We should not forget that. You know, while we might think it's really important that we recognize the history of people like Len Bedell and the creation of these roads, there's a much more ancient history here and a much more important history. Lovely little campsite there beside the hills. Lovely little campsite there beside the hills in amongst the desert oaks. The desert oaks just make beautiful campsites for a couple of reasons. Obviously, they're very beautiful to look at. They make that lovely shh sound like the she oaks do. And also, because of their needle foliage and the way it falls, the ground below them tends to be free of spinifex in a lot of cases. So they make great campgrounds. Having said that, they're not great firewood. It's a little bit too soft and a little bit too smoky. Brave taking a caravan. should probably also say, while it's great to see the camels, everyone gets pretty excited about seeing camels, and we often on our tours have competition to see who can guess how many camels we're going to see on any given day. But it should be pointed out that they, along with rabbits and other things, feral cats as well, do an awful lot of damage to the landscape. They have actually significantly changed the landscape, altered the biodiversity to the extent that the landscape doesn't hold as much water anymore. And that's why lots of the water places are dry. Camels and donkeys really destroy the waterholes. So, we really should make an industry out of catching them and turning them into camel pies so we can eat them when we go to Birdsville. Can you imagine driving that country in an old Land Rover? Oh dear. No aircon, petrol, lots of flat tires. That's very clever.
Around me, burns this country down, consumes and past the pain, a nation built on shame.
I need a new bull bar for my Prado.
Standing out with flecks of dawn, so's the spirit of the serpent man.
You see how beautiful these campsites are amongst the desert oaks. I love it. Places on the Gun Barrel Highway where you're away from the track a bit and you've got this backdrop of a big red dune with golden spinifex on it and these lovely desert oaks. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Way, 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 Makukan ngaray rungan marangun. Go, 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 balang harakin galwang alin. Dreaming times have begun, ever since the white man knew. Young or older people did hear about the dreaming time. It doesn't matter today, we are living in the civilized world. Take me back to the dream time, far away to your land. Way, 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 magugang ngaray rungan marangun.
Notice?
Go, 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 balang harakin galwang alin.
I think that's the cotton bush. That's a camel.
Way, 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 magugang ngaray rungan marangun. Go, 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 balang harakin galwang alin. Standing out in the lonely wilderness, stood a figure of the serpent man.
And this music sounds like it's Yolngu actually, so not from here at all, but from up at Arnhem Land.
Dark black clouds are covering the timeless land. Oh, correct, spreads across the unknown skies. Like the flecks of dawn, so's the spirit of the serpent man. Way, 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 magugang ngaray rungan marangun. Go, go, go.
Okay, I'm going to stop here and have a talk about this. There's a number of these along various places on Len Bedell's roads, on the Gun Barrel Highway and Canning Stock Route as well. And they're very, very handy for remote travelers. And please don't vandalize them. Please don't vandalize them. They're really, really useful.
Balang harakin galwang alin. Dreaming times have begun, ever since the white man knew. Young or older people that hear about the dreaming time. It doesn't matter today, we are living in the civilized world. Take me back to the dream time, far away to your land. Way.
Yeah, the music is Yolngu. He said Yolngu a couple of times. But that's okay. I mean, I'm not being critical here. I just thought I heard a certain sound there that made me think it was Yolngu. Look at that beautiful landscape. I don't know. You tell me, say in the comments, you might not think it's beautiful, but I think it's absolutely stunning.
Way, way, magugang ngaray rungan marangun. Go, 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 balang harakin galwang alin. Way, 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 magugang ngaray rungan marangun. Go, 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 balang harakin galwang alin.
Pretty close to the rock hole now, I think. So you come into Bungabidi on this side track. The actual track, the Sandy Blight Junction Road is just out beyond the foothills.
Out here nothing changes, not in a hurry anyway. You can feel the foolishness, the coming of the light of day. We're talking about a chosen place. You wanna sell it in a marketplace? Well,
so that's the other thing you'll see around the rock holes, and it's something to be aware of in survival situations. So you don't see these trees out anywhere else. They're in next to the rock holes where there's water underground somewhere. So this looks to me like a Eucalyptus camaldulensis or red gum, and there's a few of them there. And so they're there because there's water there.
well, just a minute now. Standing on solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, the waves of change flowing down the line, right down the line. We're right about the dawn of time, dreaming all again. Proud people came, well, they were looking for their promised land. We're running from the heart of darkness, searching for the heart of light. I think we found paradise. They were standing on solid rock, standing on sacred ground, living on borrowed time, and the waves of change were growing cold that night.
I want to say something else about these places as well that you might not have thought about. We are very, very privileged at the moment to be visiting a lot of these places. That may not always be the way it is. A lot of these places, I'm not familiar with the status of this particular rock hole, but lots of these places are sacred, and not only that, they're actually gender specific. So women are allowed there or men are allowed there, but not the other way around. And while some Indigenous people will go, well, for white people that doesn't matter, go wherever you like. For others, they'll say no, respect the law. And quite often there are rock holes that have permanent shade and permanent water, and they're very often birthing places. So they'll have paintings that, if you know how to interpret them, tell you that they're a birthing place. So just be really, really respectful and look after these places. Don't do any damage. Zebra finches, or zigzi in Punjab.
Live on the Karma
So it
Network,
looks like we're-
magnificent
It looks like we're on our way to Waru here on the Great Central Road.
day in Alice Springs, Central Australia. And of course, a new album by Tjintu Desert Man. It's Tjamuku Ngurra. Check it out.
I'm going to stop it there. Those of you who want to see more of Warrawoona and the Giles Weather Station and other places, don't forget to check out Olsen's Tours and Training. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much. Been another great video. Beautiful country. Love it. Comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Why? Because if you subscribe, my numbers of subscribers grow. YouTube pays more attention to my videos, and therefore more people get to see them. And if more people get to see them, more people get to learn about this beautiful country, how to travel in it safely, about the history, both European and Aboriginal, to the extent that I can do that, and lots more. So do subscribe, do hit the notification bell, and look forward to seeing you somewhere down the track.